One of the most closely watched trials in Kern County history is now in the hands of a jury. Both sides presenting closing arguments today in the murder trial of Trezell and Jacqueline West, charged with killing their two adopted boys months before reporting them missing in December of 2020.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cheryl and this is True Crime and Other Stuff. Thanks for being here, where I like to bring you the facts about true crime, the missing, current events, or anything I find interesting or important. This story is about Classic and Sincere Pettis, who were adopted by Jacqueline and Trezell West. They changed their names to ORIN and ORSON West. On December 21st, 2020, they reported the two boys missing from their backyard. Law enforcement rushed to the scene. They had a helicopter, dogs, volunteers, but they found nothing. Law enforcement believed the boys had died sometime in September, 3 months before they were reported missing. Trezell and Jacqueline West face charges of second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, false reporting of an emergency, willful cruelty to a child, and conspiracy. They pled not guilty. They have been on trial for several weeks, and the closing arguments have gone, and I think it's in the jury's hands now, and we will find out if they are guilty or not.
In his closing argument today, prosecutor Eric Smith told the jury Trezell and Jacqueline West are adept at telling lies. Smith claimed they lied to law enforcement, their parents, and even their own children. Ultimately, Smith said the West's 4 other children unraveled their parents' scheme. When a California City police officer interviewed the children the day after ORIN and ORSON were reported missing, they all said the same thing. They hadn't seen their brothers for weeks. A week later, the West's eldest biological child came forward with startling information. He told a social worker he saw ORIN die at the family's apartment in Bakersfield in September. He said his parents never called 911 for help.
They let him die. Because why? They knew that their lives would functionally end at that point. That's it. Their whole lives are based on money for what? 4 kids that they've adopted. That's the whole basis of their lives. They've been warehousing children. That'd be done. They'd be prosecuted from a crime, but most importantly, their 2 biological children would be taken away. And for all the stuff that they did to their adopted children, they absolutely 100% loved and adored those biological children. All the circumstantial evidence points to one thing. They were never in Cal City.
Torres Stallings told jurors today, quote, "There are no confessions and there is no forensic evidence. All we have is the story of a 10-year-old boy." Last week, an interview with the West's oldest biological son was played in court, and in it, the boy said he saw Orson's lifeless body in the fall of 2020, months before the boys were reported missing. Torres Stallings says a witness for the defense will testify that coercive interview techniques were used on that boy, and because of that, he was susceptible to false memories.
KGET.com court reporter Jason Katowski joining us on set tonight. Jason, I know you've been following this trial. You've been in the courtroom since day one. What else did the defense attorney say today?
Sure. Well, Torres Stallings said she's going to call this defense witness Susan Napolitano. She said she's the one who's going to testify about the statements made by the West's eldest child, and how she said they were influenced by others, including the social worker who interviewed him. She said the boy was influenced by the improper coercive interview techniques. She said the expert witness will testify to the social worker engaging in browbeating to make the child, then 10, say what she wanted him to say. Now, Tora Stallings said that this case is still a tragedy. Even when they're done, the defense is done presenting its case. She said it still remains a tragedy, but she said there won't be enough evidence for jurors to find her client or Trezell West guilty of murder and the other charges filed against them. She said there is reasonable doubt in this case and that they will acquit them of all charges.
Did the defense call any witnesses to the stand?
Yes, one witness, the first witness that Tora Stallings called was Christopher Armstrong. He's an accident reconstructionist, and as part of his job, he enhances video images or still images. And he did that for video images, in this case, from surveillance footage taken of the West's home on December 19th and December 21st, 2020. Now, on December 19th, that's the day that the West said they took all 6 of their children, put them in the van, and then took them to Trezell's parents' house. Now, you can't see in the video specifically the ORIN and ORSON in there, but one of the enhancements shows what appears to be, or at least what the expert testified, what he appears to be an adult holding something. And he said that that something could be a child. And as for the video evidence on December 21st, 2020, he pointed out that at one piece of the video, you see the West van door open, but you can't see anyone open it. He said that's because of the contrast in the footage. So that person was wearing dark clothing. Clearly, someone opened that door. You can't see who it is. And he used that to illustrate the point that just because you can't see ORIN and ORSON in the video doesn't mean that they may not have actually been there, because they were wearing dark clothing that night, according to testimony. He said they may very well have been there. You just can't see them, one, because of the height of the fence, and two, if they were in the yard and crossing over into the background because of how dark it was that night.